Hello, I'm Dimyake Mwakaliele.
And I'm Vincent McCorry. This is In Focus.
Well, United States President Barack Obama is attending a high-level UN meeting on Sudan's referendum on whether the country's south cedes from the north.
A senior U.S. national security aide says the president is taking part in the meeting to stress that Sudan is approaching a critical time.
And now we're joined by VOA's UN correspondent Margaret Besheer, who is in New York. And Margaret, my first question to you is if you can brief us on the concerns that the international community, Sudanese, and of course the whole world is raising about the status of this referendum in South Sudan.
Hi, Dimi. Yeah, they're very concerned. In fact, a lot of diplomats here have expressed concerns about a return to violence in Sudan if the referendum doesn't go off on time, if the result is seen to be flawed or unfair or not credible, if the South, if they don't have the referendum and the South secedes unilaterally and declares independence, that could also see a return to violence, and that's something that diplomats here really want to avoid.
And of course, Margaret, there has been concern over that period in Africa over Besheer's ICC warrant of arrest. Now, African leaders seem to be shifting their position. Can you share with us what they're proposing right now?
I don't know that it's a shift, really, Vincent. The AU has said all along that they would like to see a deferral of the charges against President Besheer in Sudan so that negotiations and dialogue on Darfur and on the CPA can go forward. And in the General Assembly yesterday, you know, we're having the UN annual debate this week, and the chair of the African Union, Bingu Mutharika, the president of Malawi, said that, reiterated that, saying that they do want to see a deferral of those charges for a year.
What is their rationale for wanting that deferral? How do they logic?
Well, like I said earlier, they want to see, right, well, their logic is that they want to see peace come to the country first. And I think that's their first priority, that there has to be peace and security for the people of Darfur and for all the people of Sudan. So in order for this to happen, I think they feel, the AU chair said yesterday, he feels that the ICC wants a pound of flesh. That was exactly how he put it, a pound of flesh from President Besheer for what's gone on in Darfur. So they feel that it's politically charged and they want to see peace. And I think that's just their main priority, is peace.
Now, Margaret, also is still speaking on the issue of Darfur. It seems as though that's an ongoing concern. In fact, South Sudanese President Salva Kiir did raise the fact that even if the referendum situation is resolved for South Sudan, Darfur still really has to be a priority, and he's calling on the international community to keep a real strong spotlight on that. What can you tell us about what is being discussed, at least in that respect?
Right. Well, also John Ping, the chairman of the African Union Commission, said yesterday on the sidelines of a different meeting that the African Union is approaching the issue of Sudan holistically. So it's not just the CPA, it's not just North and South, it's also Darfur. And American officials have expressed concern about the surge in violence recently in Darfur. UN officials have expressed a concern about the lack of access for humanitarian aid workers in Darfur, the limitation on movements of peacekeepers there. They have 30,000 peacekeepers between South Sudan and Darfur. It's the biggest mission in the world for the UN. They want to see them have mobility and be able to really carry out their mandate and protect civilians, and they're having issues with that. So yes, absolutely, Darfur is a priority.
I want to just switch gears a little bit here. There was also discussion about the situation in Somalia, and some African countries are saying they're willing, in fact, to send more troops to Somalia, and this specifically relates to President Museveni of Uganda. Can you share with us what you had?
That's right, Vincent. Last night, also on the sidelines of the General Assembly, there was a high-level meeting. They called it a mini-summit on Somalia, and Jean Ping said after the meeting that President Museveni has offered to send 20,000 troops, peacekeepers to AMISOM, the mission that's in Somalia. And I think that's the first I've heard of that. But he said that the main reason that they're unable to go is because there's no money. And he asked the international community to please provide the resources and the backing for AMISOM so that it can carry out its mandate. Now, right now, I think there's somewhere around 6,000 AMISOM peacekeepers, mostly from Burundi and Uganda, in Somalia, and they're authorized strength is 8,000. So they're nearly a complete force. But he did say that they're lacking surveillance equipment, they're lacking certain things that they need to make their mission as successful as possible with the amount of troops that they have there now. But of course, more troops there would be a help to the situation because it's incredibly unstable.
Well, thank you so much, Margaret Besheer, for joining us and giving us all that insight and information on what's taking place at the UN headquarters.